Good morning, Colin, and welcome to today's news. I'm your host, Fiend, and this is my co-host, Carl.
Thanks, Fiend. In recent news, Brexit negotiations have encountered an unexpected twist as England and Wales seceded from the United Kingdom to form the United Republic of England and Wales. In an official statement, Theresa May said, "We were tired of Scotland and Northern Ireland, saying they wanted to stay in the EU and that if they would secede if we left. So we decided to beat them to it. Northern Ireland decided to join Ireland, and Scotland has demanded the royal family to be given them as they are the only nation left in the UK. England and Wales have immediately regretted their decision, but they have no choice but to comply as Scotland has their permanent seat in the UN Security Council." That's all for now, but we'll keep you updated as this develops.
Meanwhile, in local news, a school in Cobham has encountered a serious infestation of mice. Thank you, that sounds horrible. Now on to world news. In international relations, tensions between the US and its neighbors are increasing as the US sent large amounts of troops on maneuvers along its borders. The situation was not improved.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have breaking news in sports. We now go live to J Mine, our sports presenter.
Thanks, Carl. An investigation into the next World Cup to determine whether or not it is fair has so far shockingly found absolutely nothing. The next World Cup seems to have no controversy, no bribery, no cheating, no... Excuse me for a second. Hold on, I've just received an update on this. Shocking development. Never mind, it seems that it is just the same as always. There is a lot of bribery, corruption and various other controversial events. In other news, Liverpool F.C. have lost 35-4 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is presumed that they did not realize they were playing American football, and several of the players were seriously injured. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Carl.
Thank you. Now, as I was saying, Canada and Mexico have politely asked the United States to move their troops off the border. The US has not yet responded, but the president...
Too boring. Now on to the weather with Louis.
Thanks, Carl. As you can see, the weather in Cobham for this week is typical British weather, with the forecast calling for a 90% chance of rain, snow, clouds, sun, sleet, hail, fog, thunderstorms, cats, dogs, and frozen rain. The temperature for this week is predicted to range from -5 degrees centigrade to 35, so prepare for all the seasons at once by wearing layers. The weather across the British Isles is fairly normal, with rain in Ireland, cold fog and rain in Scotland, and everything else in England and Wales. Now, I know that it looks like there's a hurricane coming from the southwest, but don't worry, it's not. It's just a smudge on the camera lens. We still need to get that cleaned, but for now, back to the anchors.
Thanks, that seems like it will be a normal week. Now, over to Feed for the incredibly boring tale of international relations.
This isn't boring. This is incredibly important news that people need to know about. The US has responded to Canada and Mexico's requests by saying that its troops are there to stop illegal immigrants from entering. Mexico has called this overkill, and Canada
apologizes for the interruption. But we must leave this dreary tale of politics behind, as a NASA rocket has exploded on the launch pad. Luckily, no one was harmed, but an investigation has been launched into the cause of this accident. While we are on the subject of science, we now have managed to get an interview with an esteemed marine biologist on the subject of the formation of mountain ranges. We now go live to our reporter Tati for the interview.
Thanks. Now, what can you tell us about the process behind the formation of mountain ranges?
You do realize that I'm a marine biologist, right?
Of course. Why do you think we chose you to interview on this topic?
I thought you were going to interview me about marine biology. I don't know any more about the formation of mountain ranges than you do.
Fascinating. It seems that the research on this topic is inconclusive.
Never mind. I think I was wrong about knowing as much about geology as you.
So the current research is conflicted?
You aren't listening to a word I say, are you? Marine biology is about as different as science as geology you can get.
It seems like the biologists we choose may not know about biology at all. We might have to ask more questions to be sure.
You know what? This was a complete waste of time. I'm leaving.
So, where'd he go? Never mind. Back to the studio.
Now can I please tell the viewers about the border disputes? Good. Canada and Mexico are appealing to the International Court of Justice for a lawsuit against the USA.
Not interesting enough. We now go live to our intrepid reporter who is witnessing the opening of a brand new nuclear power plant in the southern Euro. Alex, over to you.
Thanks, Carl. I'm here at the brand new nuclear reactor, and I just kind of want to take a look at this. Because this right here, this is the entire service, the whole system, right? And look, that's just a bunch of jazz words the engineers told me to say. I don't actually know what any of this stuff does, right? But I'm going to go get an engineer, and he's going to explain it all to you so we can all understand this a heck of a lot better. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the thing. I kind of just tripped on a wire and unplugged it, and now there's loud beeping noises going off everywhere. Alright, so I think it might be a nuclear meltdown. The engineers are looking super ticked at me. I'm gonna go, so back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Alex. That sounds thrilling. Now, we have managed to get an interview with a leading...
Breaking news. Canada and Mexico have declared war on the USA. This news is a complete surprise to anyone who is watching our news, but expected to everyone else.
I did not see that coming. Well, I guess that now we will go live to our reporter in the field.
We will not go live to a reporter in the field, as they are literally standing in the middle of a field, and we have much more important things to tell our viewers about. In the UN Security Council, Scotland, Russia, and China have approved Canada and Mexico's request for a declaration of war, and the US vetoed it. But France decided that they were tired of Americans running things and vetoed the US's veto. What will happen now is anyone's guess as... What just happened? I was in the middle of representing an important story.
The viewers were probably so bored that management decided they had to do something to get you to stop.
I think there's been a power outage or something, so the camera still has battery, so can you keep going?
Oh yeah. Well, the show must go on. In other news...